Out of all the films I watched the most on repeat when I was younger, Rango is easily the only one that really hasn't changed for me. I liked it then, I still like it now, and it's just a really fun animated western for older kids and up. So let's just get right into it. The film is about, you guessed it, Rango, a pet chameleon with a knack for acting that ends up getting lost in the Mojave Desert. But as luck would have it, he eventually stumbles upon the rundown western town of Dirt, a place that is slowly running out of water and any real reason for anyone to stay. Using his acting chops and sheer dumb luck, he's able to convince the townsfolk that he is a legendary gunslinger and becomes their new sheriff, thus sending him on all sorts of misadventures from fighting outlaws to robbing gangs, all while trying to figure out who the real culprit is behind the water shortage. To be frank, there's just so much to like in this movie. I love the character designs in this movie. Hyper-realistic, yet cartoony. It's ugly, but it fits the Old West tone they're going for. And I really like the world they build. How water is their gold, the feel of the desert environment, and the surreal imagery, topped off with its zany nature and comedy, helps create a movie with a very distinct identity compared to most of its contemporaries in the 2010s. And while I do despise cringe comedy and awkward humor in general, it works here because the characters don't register it as awkward. And the comedy especially soars when it comes to the really fun action scenes. As for Rango himself, I really enjoy his quirky personality, and he's easily one of the best fish out of waters I've seen. But let's get to what most people remember about this movie. Rattlesnake Jake. He is just a cool, badass villain. Even though he doesn't have much screen time, he just relishes in just how bad he is, and easily has some of the best lines in the movie.
Go to hell.
Where do you think I come from?
Sure, there's a few flaws I can point out, like how I don't get why Rango's tank wasn't tied down. I wish they would have played more with Rango's color-changing abilities, and maybe even tie it into Beans being unable to control her defense mechanism. I think the mayor is just an okay villain, but he just pales in comparison to Rattlesnake Jake, and the liar revealed is as overplayed as usual. But hey, at least that scene leads into that beautiful moment where he walks through the desert at night. All in all, it's a solid movie that truly deserved its Best Animated Feature win. A solid 8 out of 10. Saddle up and see for yourself. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Undead Sonic 89 for his courteous $30 pledge on Patreon. Through his support, both this channel and my second one can keep making bigger and better projects. Thank you tremendously for your support.